Hey, this is Geek Public Radio right here on geekpublicradio.com, and we are here at Gencon at our live event in front of people and things, and there's a lot of people walking around at the moment.
A lot of tired people.
Oh, yes, a lot of tired people walking around, but with happy faces.
Yes, yes. Everybody's having a good time.
And big bags of stuff.
Well, they've got the what's that place called? We ship naked. They've got there's always a line out there.
Well, yeah,
people
because
boxing stuff up and sending it home.
Right, but because you can't check that stuff in luggage.
Oh God, could you imagine
like baggage claim?
Oh God, could you imagine? Well, I went to Gencon and I come back with I've got Frostmourne and Kel Malor and
imagine losing
the Master Sword.
Or imagine losing the $400 Doomhammer in
Phoenix.
Yeah, well, no, like it got sent on the wrong plane, and now you're now it's in Kentucky, and you're like heading to Alaska or something.
Oh Lord! Well, I mean, out of country even. I mean, we've got people here from Germany, people from all over the world.
We have a couple British guys who were supposed to make it, but I don't think they will. They may be a last minute skittering in here going.
They come sliding in at the end
because
the girls want to hear them talk.
Yeah,
which is basically what that was.
Right? No, come talk British to us. I was like, well, I don't really care. But it's your fault because of in conjunction.
No, that's not my fault. You guys, I'm telling you.
You made the comment.
I said I could listen to that lovely Australian woman talk all day long. And as a matter of fact, when you had her come over, I got up and left so I wouldn't get myself in trouble. I physically left the booth so I wouldn't get in trouble. So
he actually did.
Yeah.
He got up and he's
I
like,
have to go.
He's like, okay, I'll walk over here and do whatever you guys have a good talk.
Yeah, I've got to go now.
But she was talking about the Manticorn Navy, the David Weber fan club.
Yeah.
And she was really enthusiastic about it. Like, she actually made me start reading the first book, and I'm like already like almost finished with it.
Yeah.
And, it's just like, and it takes me normally longer to read some books than when I was like, it's a 400-page book on the Kindle, and I was like 250 already down the next day after I downloaded it.
Yeah.
It was that easy of a read. It was just like boom, 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 boom. And I don't like reading stuff on the Kindle because I'm one of those that have to have the paper, like the book in hand.
There's some days I'm surprised you can read.
But it was just like boom, do. Yeah, I know that because you just think I'm illegitimate.
That's something like that. Yeah, that's it. We'll go with that.
I'm not illiterate. Both my parents were married.
Oh boy.
So we were here at Gen Con. We got to talk to a lot of cool people. I know we promised a few things. We will get into that a little bit later into the show. But first of all, we did talk to Kevin Sambedia. Mm-hmm. I got to talk to him, and for those of you who had seen us at the convention, me and Little Sonny were in chairs because I have medical issues that make the exertion. I'd be paralyzed for at least a couple of days after the convention if I didn't take it easy.
Yeah, because after Gencon you were down for a week.
Yeah, well, like that night, I literally couldn't get off. I had to be wheeled around. And because I didn't have a wheelchair.
Yeah, you were using an office chair as a walker.
Yeah, well, as a wheelchair.
Yeah.
Like, they actually sat me down and wheeled me through the house. And like, here, get up and help me into the thing because my legs were just trashed.
Right.
And that was only 3 days.
Yeah.
At a convention just the size, smaller than just this part in Lucas Oil.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. I mean.
And I couldn't do it. So, and Sonny has issues with his neck and his back and...
I'm getting old
and all that, and he did the first day without it.
God, that was a mistake.
And then the second day, his eyes lit up as soon as we got the chair running and everything working. He was like, "Yay!"
And it was such a point of contention for me and you for the months leading up to Gen Con because I don't want to be one of those people, because I thought the same thing. Why is he in a chair? He's in a chair because he's fat and lazy. I'm a big guy. I don't want that stigma.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, no, I don't need the chair. I don't want the damn chair. I'm just going to do it.
You said you were going to give it one day.
I'll give it one day, and if I can't do it, then I'll take your damn chair. And I took the damn chair because Wednesday, oh my God!
And that wasn't even a real con day. That was just us here.
That was a will call, and then running around. We went to the stink, and I'm like, by the time, wow, yeah, I didn't.
Yeah, and we sat down most of the time. Like, it was like, go here, sit down.
Yeah.
Go here, sit down. Go here, sit down. Like, we ate really good. That first one we went to Permini Brothers.
Yeah.
We ate really good at the Permini Brothers.
Drank two beers.
Yeah. Went to the stink, drank four
all
more.
The rest. The
drank
rest.
4 more. And then figured out inside these big steel buildings with a lot of concrete, service sucks.
Yeah.
Because I tried to do a live video from inside the stink where we are all these people. We talked to Troy Maynard, the very vocal Viking.
Right.
And he's outside right now marrying.
Yeah, he's doing like a group event where they doing wedding vow renewal.
Yeah, like it's the Geek wedding vow renewal.
I still feel
with
bad.
a Viking.
I still feel bad about Gencon because I unintentionally snubbed him.
But you made up for it because you guys actually,
Well, we got along at the stink. I mean, I'd meant to apologize to him at Gencon, but things just kind of.
But he gave us the perfect tip for us.
Yes.
In Franklin, there's a place called Ironsides.
Yeah. Oh, this tip, yes.
Yes, and that's
he gave me a better tip.
Yeah, just shun the dwarf and go full Viking.
Yeah, he told me, he said, dude, he's like, you've got the look. Man, just tell people you're a Viking. They will give you mead. I said, wait, what? He said, people will give you mead for free.
Like, say that again?
And give you food. I said, you are shitting me. He said, no, man. He goes, people love it. You go into these places, they will give you free food, free mead. I'm like, why haven't I done this yet? Yeah. So I was like, okay, you kind of assigned the whole dwarf thing. I know you've told people like, well, my buddy, he's trying to do the dwarf. I'm like, well,
no, I don't say you don't. I say my buddy the dwarf.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah.
Claim that you're trying to do it. It's my buddy the dwarf.
With the dwarf, the thing behind that is, I'm starting the big beard, and I want to do like the braid. I kind of want the beard and everything when it's all said and done. I want it to look like Dane Ironsides. Or Dane Ironfoot. I'm sorry, Ironsides.
Ironsides is a place in Franklin.
Yeah, Dane Ironfoot.
that needs to. We're going to start promoting until they give us free meat because this is going to be a thing.
Yeah. So I've decided I'm gonna go full Viking at this point. I'm already halfway following it anyway. So might as well. I think I've run through the con on the chair. Everybody's been so nice to me, and the seas just part. I don't know if it's because they
don't want to get run over.
It looks like there's an angry Viking going full bore right at him in a power chair, or if it's because I've got the Gandalf the Grey stick, and I'm like Moses parting the sea. I don't know what it is, but everybody's been real nice to me. I've only run over 2 people's foot, and it was Bobby both times because he stopped in front of me. But it's Bobby, so it's okay.
I ran over a couple people because they stepped out in front of me, directly in front of me, and the chairs don't have a brake.
Right.
You let off the thing, you still roll forward.
Yeah.
So I've accidentally, and one of those out of the several people, I say several, it was like 4 throughout the entire thing. 2 of them was my wife. Because she likes to get up and, I'm going to get the door, and cuts directly in front of me. And I'm like, no.
You married a kinder, buddy. She squirreled on you.
It's like, no, please don't. I'm going to hit you. Please don't do that.
Yeah. But so that the tip from Troy to me was to go full Viking, and I've pretty much adopted that philosophy. We're going to see how it pays out in mead and food. I find mead more important. So we're gonna see how that works.
We're just gonna put that out there.
Yeah.
We love mead. We will talk about you. We will come to your place and do a show just for mead.
Yes.
So, but no, the other tip was Franklin and Ironside.
Yes.
They have a full dwarf, a full Viking hall there that serves the Flight of the Valkyries,
right,
which is a full flight of meads.
Yes.
They have like 12 meads different meads on tap.
Yeah.
On tap.
I know, right?
And they have mead like bread, where it's like bread made with flour mead,
Yeah.
and whatever else you need to put in to make bread.
Right. Yeah. At that point, meat's the important part.
Yeah,
I don't
it's
care
just
about the
all
rest.
on delicious. So
Yes.
that is what we were. It's one of those things that's just amazing.
Right.
And then I was looking it up and looking at the stuff and like all the ingredient stuff that they use and all of the different types, and I'm like, we need to take a trip because this is way
Right.
too good to pass up.
Yeah.
I was like, we need this. This needs to be in my life right now.
What got me was initially, you said it was in Fortville.
Right, because
we were passing through
Fortville. Yeah.
And you said it was in Fortville, and I thought, well, we just went through Fortville. We just went through Fortville, so I was thinking, well, shit, we were just there. Why didn't I know about this?
Right.
So
I know the only thing it's McCordsville is the Scarlet Lane Brewery. Isn't it right? McCordsville?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, so that's where we were, because, I mean, you got Fortville, McCordsville, Ingalls, all that stuff is like right there along Pendleton Pike.
Right.
So it's, but that's where we were heading back, so what caught in my head was, hey, Fortville, not Franklin.
Yeah.
But yeah, we still got to take that. That's a 2-hour trip for us, but I think that'd be worth it.
Yeah.
Almost enough to get a. With that many flights of, we might need to get a hotel room or two. Like, we're just gonna stay here,
Right.
At least overnight. Sober up before the 2-hour drive home.
Yeah.
But we hung out and do that. We talked to Troy down there at the Stink. It was a good time. The video sucked. If you got to see it, I hope it was a decent quality. I don't think it stayed. I couldn't find it later, so I don't think it was a good enough quality to actually make it on Facebook. Because the signal was just horrendous.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we had a good time there. We got all the little badge ribbons and everything. The fans of Gencon Facebook group, the unofficial Facebook group. We got the gamer badges and the ally badges, and we got the cosplay is not consent badge, and then you have the badge queen over here who has the accessible gamer stuff, which I should totally have one. We should both totally have one.
I've got one. I don't know about you.
We totally need one. And then she's got the free blades. What is the free blades?
I'm not really sure, but since I'm a cosmetologist by trade and I use very sharp objects,
Like free blades. That sounds like a good time.
She is the only person I trust to touch my beard.
And then my lovely wife's got a level 99 ribbon. So,
but you can have the accessible camera on.
no, that's fine.
Use a little wheelchair on it. Is what it
Yeah, that's that. And that's that.
but it's got,
So,
well, the thing is it's got braille.
It's got braille on it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
so here's where things turn to the left. So
I know you preface this with follow your lead, and for me not to run off on a tangent. So I'm gonna let you lead this, because this way, if we get banned from Gen Con,
It's my fault.
Yeah, it's not my fault, because you told me to begin with, if you get me banned from Gen Con, you're gonna be mad at me. So I'm gonna let you lead it.
All right. So first off, when we were talking about the accessible gamer stuff and whatnot,
Right.
sometimes this convention is really accessible for people in chairs.
Right.
And being we are this year people in chairs, we've come to notice that the actual people get out of your way. They say, excuse me. They'll hold doors open for you.
Yeah.
They actually will block the halls a little bit to make sure that if it looks like you're having a hard time getting around, they'll go, whoa, 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 whoa. And it's like, hold on, let them get through.
Yeah.
Like, they will go out of their way. So some of the people, because I also got in an argument on that Friends of Facebook, or Fans of Facebook.
Fans of Gen Con.
Gen Con on the unauthorized or unofficial one. Because a lot of people were like, basically saying, why should people in chairs get any special treatment? After I spent 3 days in the convention hall and didn't see but maybe 4 booths. I went through the entire place, but can't tell you outside of 4 booths what any of them had because I couldn't get access to anything. With the flow of traffic, I could see a lot of people. I've been almost knocked out of my chair 4 times. I got, it's, there's a whole lot of accessibility issues.
Well,
and the people who were like, and it actually was brought up in that forum that there's a whole lot of ableist people, which is basically saying they were discriminatory against people with disabilities.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of people basically like, if you're in a chair, why come?
Well, because
so that's
I can.
Right.
And I want to. And fuck you.
But so there's a lot of, like I said, some of the people were really, really nice. Some of the people like knocked me almost out of my chair. Like I went on 2 wheels, and being a 230-pound guy in a little jazzy pro whatever, little scooter, you knocked me sideways on 2 wheels. I am lucky that I instinctively threw my weight into that person to not fall over.
Okay, wait,
and
was
kill
that when I hit you?
No, that wasn't when you hit me.
That wasn't when we were Mario Karting outside?
No. That was fun, though. Full speed down the thing. My wife grabbed what looked like a banana peel. It was a flower petal. I rolled up beside you, dropped it in front of you.
I stopped, done the 0 turn 3 times thing. I couldn't make the sound. Yeah. Well, you got to have fun.
Right. But so that was one of the things that I've had an argument with people at this convention this whole year. The housing portal was a bear to get through, or else we would have had thing, because my requirements say I can't spend that much time out in the heat. Mm-hmm. I have a heart condition. I have a myriad of other things that are going wrong with me, and waiting tests to find out for sure what they are, but what they're called. They know what's wrong with me. They just don't want a name for it yet. So they, I told them this is what I need, and their suggestion was, well, just get the tickets, go on the housing portal. It'll give you a time when it opens up, and you go in and get your hotel and put down that you need that stuff. By the time they gave me, the nearest hotel was 7 miles away. Strike one, because I only live an hour away anyway.
Right.
And I said, well, I need something accessible that doesn't have, that I'm not in the heat and this, that, and the other, because I have nowhere to actually drop them off because I'm the guy who drives everybody.
Right.
So, it's one of those things. It's like I can't get everybody out at the loading thing and then drive back and then have somebody load me in the vehicle with the chair and unload me and then take the vehicle back. Somebody will end up with my Tahoe and it won't be us.
Right.
And then we have no ride home.
Right.
It's like, hey, Mr. Carjacker, that's fine. Can you just drop me off in front of the con and help me unload this stuff? You can take the Tahoe.
Yeah, you can have it. It's insured.
Yeah. But
if you hit something, total some bitch.
But so that was the complaint, because there was no way whatsoever to get that rectified, because their response was, well, that's the only thing we can do is you can keep checking back and see if rooms open up. I'm like, well, if somebody has a handicap accessible room, they're going to need it. I mean, hopefully the hotel isn't just handing those out to everybody,
right?
Because I remember back in the day when when I first started coming to Gencon, I was with a gentleman who it was an amputee, and we needed one of those rooms. And all I had to do was click that button. It immediately sent me a phone number. I called them up, set the room up, and we had it. And it was in every one of the rooms that we had was all connected by a skywalk. We didn't have to worry about getting him in, getting him out, doing all this stuff, loading in, loading out every single day.
Right.
And him being exposed, he's a kidney dialysis patient. He had amputee. He was all this problems, and the original housing portal worked great for him. So I'm like, hey, let's try this. Let's do this again. Because I'm in a similar situation. I can't do the heat as much. You know, I mean, you could have just getting in today when it, you know, before it hit 90 degrees.
Yeah.
You know, it looked like I just got out of the shower.
Yeah.
You know, and it took me a full 3 hours to get feeling better, just enough to enjoy myself to have everything else ruined.
Right.
But so that was one of my beefs with it. Okay. So this is, you know, it started out with accessibility issues.
Yeah.
Throughout the con, it came about accessibility issues with the narrow aisles, overcrowding, people just standing and stopping in the middle of the thing,
and that
knocking
right
into
there,
people.
I think that right there is some of the biggest majority of the issues that I've seen. I mean, you know, you've got so much stuff to pack. You have so much to pack into a space only so big. Now it is 10 times bigger than what it was when, you know, it first started in Indianapolis. But a lot of it, I think, is just flow issues. You know, some of the aisles are smaller than the others because they're not main aisles. But I think you have it's like a herd mentality. You know, you get a group of people that stop. Well, why are we stop? You know, that stops the whole thing. And that's why I always try to, you know, get out of the way. Well, I'm gonna go up here and, you know, get out of the way or whatever. You know, just try to open the aisle up a little bit. You know, just get as close to whatever you're looking at. You know, just open it up some. So, you know, I think some of it's just, you know, people. You know, you're just some of it. I guess what I'm getting at is it's just the nature of a convention. You know,
right?
I run into it at gun shows too. You know.
Well, no, I totally understand that, but like I said, this is a systemic thing in the sense of. It started at in the housing portal, like in January or February, whenever they opened them up.
Yeah.
No, I think it was May. But whenever they opened them up, I started having issues then. I had issues with the crowd. Like I said, not all of them. There was a lot of really cool people, and you know, that was, you know, there's a lot of really cool people. There are a lot of people that were helpful.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, you have the people who weren't so helpful.
Right.
And then sitting in the auction hall, being the only individual in a chair at that point in time.
Yeah.
For pretty much any time that I wanted to do it, they completely overlooked me. Even when half of the room was pointing, saying he's got his arm, they didn't even look over. They pointed at the guy in the back that whatever and said, "Hey, do you want this?" And he raised his ticket, and they sold it to him. Several times throughout the course of this last whatever, you know, it happened repeatedly.
Yeah.
Which immediately I looked at them, and I kind of rolled forward. Did it? You know, they overlooked me again. I'm within sight of everybody, right? Like guys are sitting there in a thing going, "This isn't right." Like they've overlooked you like every time you wanted a bid.
Okay.
And I said, "I know." And after they did it again, the guy was like, "Jesus Christ!" Like loud enough for people to turn around and look, and even the auctioneers turned and looked in my direction, and I was just like, "Okay." And I put it down. I turned around, wheeled back to the thing, walked up, said, "You know what? Since I haven't been able to bid on a single thing, I haven't been able to do anything. It's 3 days of this stuff. I haven't been able to get one single item, even stuff that you guys put back because no bids. You still looked past me. I want my money back."
Yeah.
And they were like, "Huh? What do you mean? You haven't bought anything yet?" "No, you guys have not let me. So I want my money back." And the lady just kind of went, "I'm sorry," and didn't even question it, handed the money back. And then, so I I messaged the auction and was very vocal about how I felt that, you know, just because, I don't know whether it was just because I was in a chair that they didn't see me, even though the entire half of the room was almost like standing up pointing at me and hollering.
Who have you pissed off at Gencon?
I have no idea, but apparently there's a lot of people. It's a conspiracy.
Yeah. I tell you.
Right. They're like,
point,
don't deal with that guy.
With some of the rest of the stuff that's happened, I'm beginning to wonder, to be honest with you. I mean, yeah.
So, but, you know, so that has been my major. It actually almost ruined the convention for me this week. It ruined it for today. Like, I literally was, like, the one thing I wanted to do today because it was all RPG games. It was general games. I tried to bid on every Cthulhu thing that came through. They didn't even register my bid. I had it up, and I was outbid on stuff. I'll say, because they were taking things a little bit, $4 or $5 more than I was willing to pay for certain stuff.
Yeah.
It wasn't outrageous, but I was like, no, I'll put it down. And then when things went up and they were begging people just for $5 to take it, and I'm over here going,
and they still didn't.
And it's like, they haven't looked at me the whole time I'm here.
No, and
I'm standing next to the pay area. They're looking right at me.
On those occasions, did you holler at them?
Yeah, and like people,
yo, hey, mother, something.
I was like, hey, and people were like also pointing and shouting and saying, you have one right here, you have one right here. And they went back to the same guy who was paying way much more than he needed to for any of the other stuff. And he was getting the rest of the stuff for $5 because... No, and they were like, do you want it? And he was like, okay. And I'm over here going, but I want it.
Okay, so what you're telling me is the auction's rigged then?
Apparently, because
that's what it sounds like to me. I mean, at this point in time, I mean,
there have been accusations that certain individuals will raise prices until they feel they can get out. They can dump it and jack the price up if somebody looks like they're interested in it.
Yeah.
Which always fails when they try to do that to me.
I have seen that with my own 2 eyes.
But that always fails on them. As soon as they start jacking that up, I drop out, especially if I'm the only one. I've basically jacked them up on them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then they're stuck paying it out. But no, that was a lot of the issue that I had. Like I said, it soured the whole day for me. I didn't want to do anything. I literally just sat around plugged in for the rest of the day.
Yeah.
After that happened, I didn't go down the aisles, which were actually cleared out a little bit today. It's Saturday.
Well, they always clear out after 6 o'clock.
But so we were just, like I said, it was just one of those things that it completely soured the whole day for me. But yesterday, sat down, talked to, going back to the ADD that is Gencon with half of the stuff that's, go here. Talked to Kevin Sambedia.
Yeah.
He was unable to be here. It was a last minute for us to talk to him anyway.
Yeah, so we couldn't get Palladium.
But he did give us his direct contact information, so I don't have to go through the roundabout. So I can actually get a hold of him and set something up for a future time, which he totally wants to do. He remembered us from the video stuff that we did a few years ago, and he had a good time with it. And so he was like actively wanting to catch up, which was the fun part about the whole thing. Some people call him and say he's arrogant or whatever, but that's because they don't know him.
They don't know him.
Because when I was sitting there talking to him, he remembered everything, and he was just like, so how are you feeling now? Is everything okay? And we spent 20 minutes talking. 5 of it was about him wanting to do the show. Had other things scheduled, but he wants to schedule something so we can get together and do that. Yeah. Even if it's us driving up to Michigan and getting something special. He wants to arrange that's cool.
Yeah, that's fine. We can do that.
The rest of the conversation was about how I was doing and this, that, and the other, and he was actually honestly concerned about it. And that made me go, there's a reason why I like Kevin. Yeah. He just, it's just one of those things. It's like, I've never had a bad conversation with him. He's always genuinely worried, and he was like, everyone like, yeah, so is everything okay? And, hand on the shoulder, generally concerning, and I know part of that is sales techniques and whatever, but he literally wanted to know. Yeah. So that made me feel good. Yeah. And so we're looking to try to schedule that the moment we can. Of course, winter is out in Michigan because...
Right. Yeah, if it doesn't happen in the next couple of months, it's not going to happen until next spring.
We'll try to set something up, unless we need dog sledge or something.
Yeah. Not on board for winter in Michigan. I'm barely on board for winter in Indiana.
But at least it's cooler.
cooler in Michigan?
No, it's
During the
cooler.
winter?
It's cooler in the winter.
Oh. Well.
It's not 90 degrees. It's
No,
negative.
I'm talking.
It's negative
I was talking
14.
about snowfall and stuff.
It's
No.
negative 14 sometimes,
Yeah.
but you
Well,
know
yeah.
that's an issue because I will freeze solid.
Well, at negative 14, my back says, and that's it. She locks up.
Then give me the heating pad.
That usually doesn't even help.
Okay, give me a large burning fire and just
you're-
throw me on it.
Yeah, you're down until it decides to bust loose. And when that happens, but anyway.
So, and we also talked with Modifius, which was one of the first people we talked to.
Yeah.
And because of certain things, because we were asking about a thing that they were just picked up for distributing. Phrasing, they weren't they weren't sent to jail for distributing. They were they were licensed for distribution for Vampire the 5th edition.
Yeah.
So when we talked to them, they said, "Oh, we can't do that. We would love to. We can't do that. Let's send you over to the guys that can."
Yeah.
And so we talked to them. Modifius, I would have.
We weren't clear on it.
Yeah, it was a miscommunication.
Yeah.
They thought we were just wanting to talk about that, but they also came through when I talked to them about setting up some Octon Cthulhu like Skype sessions and stuff, and actually like talking live from London.
Yeah.
And getting those recorded for the podcast, and actually doing some other stuff. And of course, they always offered, if you want anything to review, let us know.
Right.
Same as Kevin. He's like, anything you want, any of our new stuff you want to talk about, you want to review, you want to just test out on, let us know. We'll get it to you.
Well, they can just start by sending everything.
We want one of everything.
Just send me one of everything. We'll go over all of it.
But so there's that, and two wonderful groups of people. Mm-hmm. Love them to death. Talk to Chris. He's at Modifius. I talked to him on several occasions. He's a really great guy. Talked to Kevin, great guy. Unfortunately, those things kind of fell through. One, because it ended up being last minute because of my next complaint. First, it was 3 days before we left for Gencon that we got the information that one of our guests, who was supposed to be on the panel, wasn't going to be able to make it. I understand his reason. He got a new job. Mm-hmm. He was here to support. He was the game designer on Submerged Echo 51, the trading card game, deck building game. He designed it. He did all the stuff for it, and it's his baby, licensed off of Demetrius Witherspoon's Submerged Echo 51 film.
Yeah.
What? It kind of sucks because that was one less thing, which is what prompted us to start looking to fill that time with other people that kind of slipped through the cracks because we had enough time.
Yeah.
That was going to happen. So we get everything squared away and like, okay, well we'll move that along, and then we get here and get ready to sign up. The sound guy who was registered, got tickets for the sound guy for us. Mm-hmm. Didn't come. Mm-hmm. So then it was like, okay, so we got a whole show with us.
Yeah.
Like, okay, we can do this. We've done it in conjunction. We've done it before. Mm-hmm. We don't need, we can do it. It'll be a little, we ended up running a little late setting everything up because we didn't have that extra hand.
Yeah.
But that's okay. We dealt with it. 10 minutes before the convention, or before we actually, as we were setting up, 10 minutes before we go live on this thing.
Here comes the meltdown.
The one thing that we've been talking about and had cleared and set in stone, they backed out.
Yeah.
And that's White Wolf.
Yeah.
The moment we did everything that they asked for. We had all the information that they asked for. They cleared it through their people and this, that, and the other. And then I get an email.
10 minutes before the show.
Did so-and-so got a hold of you and said that we're not able to make it, right? No. I said, yeah, they were totally supposed to contact you today. And
didn't we talk to them yesterday?
Yes.
So between yesterday
and today,
They decided that they weren't going to show up.
Yeah, and the only difference is that they saw me in a chair. They've talked to me in person, or at least via voice, whatever. Mm-hmm. The only difference is I rolled up there to make sure that everything was still on thing, and he said, yes, everything's ready to go. You need me for the full 2 hours. And I said, no. We would like you there for the full, but we just want you there as long as we can get you there. We start at 7, and like I said, it was going to be a panel of people, and we were going to talk and do the video and all the other stuff. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if lost in translation or what, but within like literally the last second saying, you got our marketing people got a hold of you and said that we couldn't make it. You got that right?
Of course not, because they're marketing people. They're notoriously bad about getting a hold of people for shit. Of course they're not going to get a hold of you.
So it's like, no. He's like, oh, I'm so sorry, and this, that, and the other. I was like, okay, that's fine, I guess. So whatever, And not only that is we were offered all sorts of stuff in the very beginning. Hey, if you want to play test this, we'll send you stuff. Mm-hmm. They're dumping it on the market. People saying they didn't send you anything. No, the marketing people didn't get anything to us. So we have nothing to. I have no idea. And I was like, so what we're going to do, since I don't have any of the materials in front of me because nobody gave them to me, I'm going to ask you guys. Where you're coming from with it. Where does this start out? Is there an over meta plot? What's different between this edition and previous editions? Mm-hmm. You guys are saying you're leaving Requiem and all that stuff aside, and you're going back to after the Gehenna and this, that, and the other. That's what I want to talk about. I want to know more about the game because I don't know anything about the game. Mm-hmm. I haven't anything in front of to talk about.
And God knows we have history with the game.
Yeah, I mean, I ran a game for 8 years.
Yeah.
Fade to
black.
And then we played it. We've played it on and off for I have 2nd edition. I have 3rd edition books. Mm-hmm. Didn't go much for the 4th edition Requiem stuff, but I was excited because they're going to go back to the World of Darkness that I knew, mm-hmm. and I was familiar with. Mm-hmm. And they completely left. Like I said, when you don't, it's almost worse that you waited 10 minutes than not showing up. Like now I have time to stew about it.
Right, but
for at least 10 minutes.
If they hadn't cleared it, we'd be on a remote at their. Well, no, we wouldn't because they closed the exhibit hall because they can get away with that shit.
Yeah, it was 7:00, so that's that time our show started.
Well, there you go. That's why they wanted to leave. They wanted to go home. They wanted to go drink. They wanted to go do something else. They didn't have time, for the players. That's what that tells me. White Wolf doesn't have time for the players.
Apparently. Because, seriously, if any business who says months in advance, if you book everything at months in advance and do everything that they ask you to do, they were like, well, how far is your reach? How many people do this? And how many people go to your website? How many people do this? And it sent all that information to them. They were like, oh, great, cool, we'll have somebody there. They even booked to make sure that Jason Carl was going to be the guy that we talked to, the guy there at White Wolf for the vampire. And totally last minute bailed on us. And I don't know why. Like I said, the only difference
That's a bitch move.
The only difference between and it seems like I'm on that once because of everything else that happened this week. But like I said, the only thing that was different is I rolled up there in a wheelchair and said, hey, I just want to make sure everything's okay for tomorrow. It's 7:00. I want to introduce myself to whoever I'm going to talk to, mm-hmm. and find out what and kind of give what we're going to talk about. You guys, and at that time we still had a couple things lined up, so they were still going to be part of a panel of people mm-hmm. talking about the games that they're working on, this, that, and the other. Yes, the other stuff did kind of fall through. I was still kind of trying to pick that pieces up to fill it out, but they didn't know that there was not a panel going on, so they bailed on a panel at Gencon.
Yeah.
It wasn't a Gencon panel.
Doesn't. Yeah,
it was.
It doesn't get a whole
fan.
lot worse. Yeah,
It was a fan panel wanting to talk about 5th edition.
Yeah.
Their brand new game that they have yet to actually get out to us to even have. I don't know if they what they did. I don't know what the difference is because they didn't tell us. They didn't let us know. They didn't give us anything. They completely just. It's almost like, oh, we got here into town and realized that Gen Con has all this stuff that they're going to do and this, that, and the other, and we'll just go do like the Gen Con TED Talk type stuff and present 5th edition there, and we won't bother with the fans. We'll get it out here so we can get on the Gen Con Twitch and this, that, and the other, and, who cares if it's on a Roku channel or if it's on some other television? We got it on Gen Con's Twitch. Millions of people watch that. We don't have to worry about the fans that would come here to sit down and actually have a close one-on-one session and find out more intimately and actually be able to talk back and forth.
Yeah, and the damnable part about the whole thing is that it's a good marketing move. If they had to pick one or the other,
but they didn't. That was yesterday.
Oh, it was? Okay, well then.
Yeah, they didn't. They totally said this was on their calendar. They didn't double book. That is the thing. I was on their calendar. They added me to the calendar so I could know that they were scheduled for this.
Well, if they were scheduled, and they didn't give us a reason, correct?
And no, they didn't. All they said is, so-and-so, did so-and-so get a hold of you? No. Well, I'm sorry, we're not going to make it.
Well,
we've only been talking about this for 2 months, 3 months. This is one of the big things that we've been excited about, that we put commercials on about, that we promoted out in other places. We actually spent money to get out and talk about White Wolf being here with us to talk about Vampire 5th Edition.
Right.
So, what do we do now that we are in a room with people looking at us? We don't have White Wolf.
We don't have a demo.
We don't have a demo. We don't even have the PDF. We changed from having books in our hands so we can do it to we'll send you out a PDF.
Yeah.
And the PDF never showed up.
Right.
So we're going in. The only thing that I have is the play test from last year, and it only has 3 character classes or 2 character classes, 1 Tremere and 2 Gangrel, and that's the part of the play test. They provide you those characters. Don't talk to you about how you create any character creation stuff on whether or not that has changed any,
right.
Whether or not what clans are still available. I don't know any of that. You know what I have to do to find out? I go spend $50 on a book.
Or not.
Or not, because I can still play 3rd edition.
Fans.
Or I can just go play 3rd edition and just say, okay, well, White Wolf, you lost me.
Yeah.
I won't buy new stuff. I will go on eBay and find all of the old stuff that I need.
That we already know how to play.
I already know how to play.
We already have fine-tuned. Yeah.
or find somebody who actually wants to come and be engaged and do this stuff.
Right.
And I'm sorry for those who actually came to listen to the thing about White Wolf. I'm sorry for the people who are listening, wanting to listen about the Submerged.
But they're learning now that, they don't care about the fans.
Right.
I mean.
Or, yeah, I'm not understanding the process of this. It's hard for me to wrap my brain around it, so.
To be left, I mean, if there was a valid, legitimate reason, then they should have, if there was a family emergency, something, don't just not,
Right.
Give me something. Give me
don't
make up something.
Yeah,
Shit.
Don't see me one day and then cancel just out of the blue with no.
Don't cancel on it the next day, 10 minutes before, 5 minutes before, whatever it was, 5-10 minutes before the show, and not give a reason. Because to me that tells me that you don't regard the fans well enough, to even provide an explanation.
Right. And that's the thing is I was trying to and that's the thing with what Modiphius says about us. And then I just get that.
Oh, let's see this.
That the event was removed from the calendar. But it actually looks like I just now got it. But it actually looks like it was canceled because we canceled it. That's what it looks like on their calendar. I'm sorry, this event has been canceled. We will not be appearing.
It has not been canceled.
No, we're still sitting here. We still have people, right there. Like, what is the,
This is bullshit, is what this says. You just got this?
Yeah.
Is he here?
He was here. I don't know if he's still in the area.
Tell him he's got precious little time to come down and save face for his goddamn company.
Because, yeah, it's just one of those, like, I don't know. Like I said, it's just one of those things that makes me go, oh,
Well,
like, how can you, how can anybody expect anything from, like,
I'm understanding of if a company screws up or something doesn't go the right way,
or if it's double booked.
like we had with Palladium's Kickstarter. They had issues.
Yeah.
I still like Palladium. They got screwed over.
We want to talk to them
we would
about
like
it.
to talk to them about it. I understand if that's a subject not on the table because of litigation or something. But I have no ill will towards Palladium. I think they got screwed. Still love to talk to them, especially about that. Whether they think it's news now or not, I'd still like to talk to them about it.
Right.
This thing with White Wolf, I don't get this. I do not understand. It's, to me, disrespecting the fans.
Even if Jason was like, well, there's not going to be enough people, yada yada. At least send something. At least send one
right,
person.
Okay, if we're going to put a name out there, is he the point of contact we've had the whole time? Because
Yes.
you handle that side of it.
Yes.
So this was something that was Jason's decision, or did this come somewhere else?
I don't know.
Well, you just showed me that one, so I don't know if there was anything more to it. So
No, literally, it's that's what I got. Where it says, "Hello, Topher. I hope Uber Strategist has informed you that I'm regrettably
who the fuck
unable
is
to-"
Uber Strategist?
That's
How are they involved?
That's their marketing people. That I am unable
Did
to
you
join
ever
this
talk
evening.
to Uber Strategist?
No. And I said, no, thank you, but thank you for contacting us. And they said, I'm very sorry. I'm so very sorry. I understood that they would contact you today. My apologies.
We have never talked to them.
I talked to them once.
Well, I thought you
when
just
they
told
got
me
it,
you never talked to them.
Not for this. I've talked to them once when we got on the schedule, on the calendar. That was all they.
Okay.
He said, hey, what is the time and the date and the room?
So who removed it from the schedule?
The guys from Uber Strategist removed it from the schedule. And didn't tell me that they were canceling. And literally just
So
did
how
it.
is Uber Strategist? Okay, maybe my anger is misdirected at White Wolf. How is Uber Strategist exactly connected with? Who are they a division of? Tell me it's Harmony Gold.
No, they are a third-party marketing firm.
What is it with the game companies and their third parties? The third parties are screwing them over right and left. Look at what happened with Palladium. And now you got White Wolf with the Uber Strategist. They've just summarily decided that they're going to go a different direction when they've got something scheduled.
Well,
Do they not know what they're doing to the fans?
Or either that, or that's the question. Is Jason said he wasn't able to make it, so he made the call. He could have sent anybody in that booth to sit down and talk about Vampire.
Then why didn't he send somebody?
Because he just canceled the event. And that's all he wanted. He was just like, I'm not able to attend, so
Okay.
sorry.
Oh my God!
Like I said, if it's the fact that we're a small podcast, he knew that from the beginning.
How the fuck do they run a company?
Any
of these motherfuckers.
So it's basically if you're not a million viewer, million subscriber Twitch channel, they don't want to mess with you. I mean, they did it first. We talked about all sorts of stuff. He wanted to know what we were going to ask. I basically fed him everything that we were looking at and said we would love to have a copy of this stuff so we knew what we were going into beforehand. I even broached this thing saying, when will it be available for purchase? And they said the 26th. If you'd like a review copy so you'd have it in your hands in enough time, we can send you one of those. I think that would be awesome.
Yeah.
None of it happened. And it's just like, it kind of feels, and this is strange because I've never gone on a show
Yeah.
and been disappointed
Right.
in the way somebody, like, how somebody treated us. And normally when you're upset about something, I'm like, well, calm down. Well, we have to be whatever. And today I was like, you're going to hear something that no, they sucked ass on this situation. It was horribly handled. It was horribly handled. It left us holding the bill for things that we did to get people to come see and talk to them and to hear them. We are left footing that bill because they wanted to go get food or something. We don't know. We have no clue why they, maybe he wanted to go play that Paizo game or whatever, the Pathfinder game that starts at 8 o'clock. I don't know. But it is one of those things that is really frustrating that, like I said, we are out because of this. We promoted this. Not only did we promote this on our station, we promoted it out on Facebook. It cost us money because we bumped stuff. We did stuff on Twitter. We did stuff out in the various platforms that we could promote on.
We held up our end of the bargain.
And we're sitting here. I'm not afraid to put a little money behind it and say, if you're willing to come here, I will get it in front of 1 million people.
Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't put it in front of 1 million people.
And now we're putting this.
And it's one of those things. It's like, whether or not, anybody follows up on it, that's a crapshoot.
Yeah.
Anytime you can, but, I know there's a minimum of 1 million people had their eyes on that White Wolf was going to sit down and talk to us about Vampire the Masquerade 5th edition.
Yes.
And now that we spent, like, the last 40 minutes railing about this, it's just, I don't know. I don't know what we could have done different, honestly.
Well, everything was going according to schedule. Everything was, our end of the bargain was held up. I was telling folk, I had signed a couple autographs today, and
that was actually funny.
That was the weirdest experience of my life.
They actually come up to you and like, are you little Sonny?
You're with Geek Public Radio, right? Oh yeah, we listen to you on Metal and Madness. You're Little Sonny. You sound like Little Sonny. Yeah, that's me. And then sign autographs and stuff. It's a weird ass experience, but And then I was out there talking to some folks, and one guy that had I talked to out there he knew that we were here, but I was telling him about that we were going to do the podcast or do the show.
Mm-hmm.
And I was telling him, I'm like, yeah, we got White Wolf coming in, so literally before I came in, we were as of an hour before the show.
We were literally promoting it here.
Yeah, I was telling people here, I was like, yeah, we're going to be talking. White Wolf's coming down. We're talking to him. We got some other people that are supposed to be swinging by, and yeah. So
and we actually lost people when they came in. Like, well, sorry, this is not, and they turned around and walked out.
Yeah.
So
people came in to hear White Wolf, and then White Wolf didn't show up, and we said, well, our show's going to go on. If you want to stick around, stick around. If you don't, hey, I ain't mad at you.
No, but like I said, will I have anything to do with them anymore? No.
No, that's done.
Like I said, I was totally excited about 5th. I'm not anymore. And I'm probably tell everybody that I can't. No, just stick with 3rd edition. It's way better.
Yeah.
How do you know? Just because the company decided that they weren't.
Because back then they cared about the fans.
Right?
Some people's kids, I swear to God.
I just makes me want to choke people with a brick.
With a brick. I have a stick.
But, no, like I said, what you're hearing out of me is more disappointment. And just literally, like, I am totally, I don't know. Like, it just seems like, screw you guys. You guys are too small. We have better things to do. I need to go get a beer and a sandwich.
And, if he had told me that, I'd have more respect for him. Mm-hmm. Just tell me that. Don't just cop out. Let's cop out.
Well, like I said, we're no bigger or smaller than we were the 2 months that they were excited and hyped and talking about it and doing this, that, and the other. And,
If you wanted to do it then, what changed?
Right.
10 minutes before the show, what changed?
And literally, the only thing that I could see that changed was I rolled up in a wheelchair.
Hey, if you want to go that route, I'll back your play.
Like literally, like that is the only difference. The only difference between what we did, we talked the day before on messages saying, everything's copacetic. Yeah, that's great. Yada yada yada. I wheeled up and said I just wanted to find out who I was exactly going to be talking to, introduce myself, kind of go over some of the stuff. Jason came over and said, "Oh, I'll be there. Just that and the other. It'll be fine. It'll be great." Yeah, and he opened up the book and showed me that it was there and everything. Yeah, you're right here.
And then deleted it as soon as you rolled away. Fuck that guy. Delete, delete, delete.
So, I mean, he can say that it was because he saw me rolling through the thing in a cosplay that had guns and they don't believe in guns.
Was it because you're conservative?
And I'm not even really, I don't know. I'm just done. That literally made me just go, you know what? You put together something like a cool event, you get everybody situated, and nothing happens.
Right.
Like, what are you supposed to do? When everything, it's almost like that LARP yesterday.
Oh, the one that had sold out and then nobody showed up?
Yeah. 30 people was supposed to come to this LARP. Multiple times. They had backdrops, they had full sceneries, they had the full 9 yards. It was a big immersive LARP thing going on.
Sounded like it would have been fantastic.
Nobody showed. It's a full boffer LARP. You're supposed to go through, and it's like fantasy setting, and it sounded like nobody showed. One thing, like 2 people showed up, and it was a couple. They showed up, said, "Oh yeah, we'd love to do this," and they got their own private game because the whole room was dead.
Wow.
And it made me go, I feel better about our show.
And then this happened.
And it's like, well.
Oh, boy, I tell you.
That just makes me want to go, but, right? So, but, like I said.
We had a really good Gencon, though.
Oh, yeah, Gencon was amazing.
We're going to have a Starbase Indy, too, right?
Yeah.
Maybe we should stick to the smaller conventions where, they care about the fan stuff.
But that's the thing, like, here we were talking about, like, because White Wolf got on board, and now Palladium's, well, they've always kind of been on board. We just had to get in touch with Kevin, and, he's on board. Chris Modifius is on board for stuff.
Yeah, and they're still on the Christmas card list. White Wolf's not, but they are.
But so it's just like we have great contacts. We were talking about doing the Midwest tour of the gaming companies, like hitting one because there's some in Wisconsin, there's some in St. Louis, there's some in Michigan, there's some in Cincinnati, There's some in Tennessee. They're all around us.
Yeah.
There's even a couple here in town, like here in Indiana.
Yeah.
And so, like, we were looking at that going, yeah, we could totally do that. Like, we'll get them on board. We'll start with White Wolf, and then we'll go from White Wolf, since they're from Sweden. We'll go through, and we'll do all this stuff, and it'll be great.
Yep.
So what it's going to be is we're just going to have to show up on people's doorsteps with camera gear and everything ready to go and say, hi, we're here to shoot. Oh, I didn't get notice that you canceled. We are already here. So we'll either stand out front of your building and do a whole video about how you turned us away, and canceled the thing, or we can just come in and talk because we are fans. We want to talk about we want to get this stuff out to fans. But that could just be me being bitter. Because that
I'm
took
gonna
the wind out of my
I'm
sail.
going to tell you right now, don't you promise me that we're going to do something and us not do it. If you want to guerrilla radio somebody, let's do this shit.
But you know what I'm saying? Like that could be just me being bitter because the way this played
We are
out.
not that far from the frickin' airport. To Sweden.
To Sweden.
I think they got chocolate, right? They got something. What are they famous for besides the girls?
Racing.
I've never heard of the Swiss race.
I've
heard of the Swiss Miss, though.
No, I think the Swiss are famous for their drivers.
Oh, they're army knives. That's it.
Their Swiss Guard.
Yeah.
and
the cheese, yes, okay. I can go on a tour of, some cheese winches or something. I don't know. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out as we go.
Cheese, winches, hot chocolate. I don't know. That just came off entirely like dissing the entire Swedish population.
No, that's not what I meant. I couldn't remember.
No, but yeah.
I shouldn't broadcast angry.
No. Like I said, this could all be, he could email me tomorrow and give me whatever. I'll still be bitter. I still won't do anything with them. But I may have some semblance of an understanding as to what happened. But
the Germans didn't cancel. Just putting that out there.
But, I don't know. It's just, anywho.
Right.
This is our show, as what it is.
Yeah.
Us talking about the good things. By the way, did you see any good games that you might have been interested in while you were here? Run your brain.
There's one particular image that's just kind of stuck in my brain for the majority of a couple of days that I don't know.
It doesn't count. Cosplay Deviants doesn't count.
I don't even know where that's at. I've not seen that.
Yeah, you went right by it.
Did I?
Yeah.
Well,
she's like, "That's them," and you went, "Really?"
When?
Like the first day that we went through the thing where we actually were going.
I
through
don't
there together.
remember that at all.
It was the booth that had the curtains up. Like, you had to be 18 or over to actually go into the booth.
I had my favorite deviant to look at.
But, yeah, so... so, you didn't get a chance to do... I'm still wanting to look at the Paizo playtest for Pathfinder.
I don't know. They'll
2.0.
probably cancel, too.
By the book, they'll cancel the whole thing.
I cancel the whole damn no. They're getting ready to come out with 2.0.
So, but yeah, that's what I want to.
Well,
I want to check out. I want to check out a couple things from the Modifius line. There's some new stuff with the skirmishers, which is basically Octane Cthulhu with miniatures. So it's like small war gaming against Cthulhu creatures. Because you can buy platoon sets and whatnot, just like you can for other war games.
That's a slippery slope rabbit hole to go down. I'm not saying I don't like the idea.
But you can actually.
I'll check it out. Yeah,
it's something.
It's an intriguing idea. I want to see. I want to see how they've got it put together.
It's something that I want to check out.
I'm not dissing on it at all. It's something I wish to inspect.
Of course, Sandy Peterson's here with Peterson Games.
Yeah,
and that was always cool. Like, we have the video from a couple years ago where I totally was like, "Oh my god!"
It's your man crush.
He created the one game that I love. I mean, I like a lot of games. Call of Cthulhu is,
I got to give Jim the bad news.
But so here we go. This is our show. I wanted to end on something positive. So yeah, we're going to pick up some more games tonight or tomorrow. We're going to hit the battle pods, try to do some mini gaming with the BattleTech stuff. There's a BattleTech grinder where you start with the smallest thing, and every time you die, you get bigger.
God damn it! I'm going to be in a flea all day. That's ridiculous.
So
Punish me for being good.
So it's 2 hours of nonstop,
Me and a flea.
nonstop battle tech stuff.
Machine guns and run. Machine guns and run. No.
It's like, fine, screw it. I'm just going to wade into this and move up.
I have seen that happen before where, somebody, they were so crippled that they just wanted to end it, and they walked into the middle of a couple of Atlases going at it, and they both stopped firing and denied them the death that they wanted. I've seen that. It was funnier. So I guess then we're getting ready to call it.
Yeah.
I want a short answer from you.
Yeah, okay.
What do you think about doing an event at another Gen Con? I'm not ruling out all conventions, but if you had to make a decision right now, based on experiences thus far this weekend, would you do another live show from Gen Con?
But you can't do it from just this weekend because this is our only Gen Con.
I would do another event, but with the people that I trust. So, like Kevin.
We're screwed because okay.
Like
I was going
Kevin,
to say I don't trust anybody. So.
Like Kevin and Chris.
Okay.
And them, actually.
You would give it one more shot with
people that I knew would actually show up.
That's fair.
And if they didn't show up, then I'd call it. Then I'd probably call it with the entire convention.
Yeah. Okay.
So.
I was just curious.
But no, like I said, we love our small conventions, and it's not because of anything other than people show up. People, like you talk to an author at a convention, like, hey, you want to be, really? And like a half an hour later, they're like, they left their booth and they're come over to sit down and talk with you. Of course, the small conventions we do live radio all weekend long. So we're actually playing all the music. We're doing all that stuff. We're doing live breaks with the stuff. So it pays to actually listen when we say we're live because we are live. You will see us be talking and all of a sudden somebody in a robot dog costume that looks like it's verging on a furry will walk by and we go, what? And then you'll actually hear us go, yeah. So anyway, now that is just something interesting that happens at conventions.
Right.
And it's not right or wrong. It's just, wow, did you see that? So, but yes, our time is done. We have to break down here to make sure that we have the room empty for the next event. And we will be back, same bat time, same bat channel for all of our shows after the convention. We had a little bit of a hiccup with the Man Cave, and the Metal Madness actually it is playing one of the band shows from iHeart. So
in about a half hour too, I think it is.
Yeah, because we're down here with some of the equipment they needed and like half the crew.
Yeah.
So, there's that. But, anywho.
There will be a new show launching, too.
Yeah, and we're going to be retooling the show, making it a little bit more...
well, that's not exactly what I was talking about, but yes, we'll be doing that as well. Well, go ahead. You were talking about the Metal and Madness going on hiatus for a couple weeks.
Yeah, we're going through and making... at
the end of August.
At the end of August.
We'll be retooling the show for 2 weeks, and... we'll play the other, because tonight we'll be playing one of the band shows. We'll be playing FEMA camps. Then here at the end of August, after the last August show, we will have our 2-week break while we retool the show, and we'll be playing the other 2 band shows. It was the Santa Claus and Serial Killer show we'll be playing. And then we'll relaunch the show, I believe it's the 2nd or 3rd week of September.
Yeah.
And we'll be able to have we'll have live interviews or we'll have interviews that'll go along with the show. For example, if we do an Aliens show, then we'll be able to get the director of MUFON on for an interview. Right. So we'll be able to do the neater shit like that we've been wanting to do.
Right. And it's just going to take us actually taking that break in order to get that stuff done.
Right.
And
because we got to change the plumbing and things, right?
Yeah, we have to totally break everything down and rewire and set everything up to accommodate that.
Right. And then when are we launching?
The Wednesday, right after this convention.
Okay, so then this coming Wednesday at what time, honey?
From 6 to 8.
This coming Wednesday from 6 to 8, after Gen Con, we'll be launching a new show. It's going to be named He Said, She Said. And do you want to pitch it real quick? Here, come here.
No.
Come here.
It's the he said, she said. Basically,
Get,
anything from, one corner of the earth to the other. Nothing is too silly, nothing too serious. But we are going to start the first one kind of a serious, but still on the fun side, because we want to tackle this whole he said, she said side of the nice guy, bad boy myth that seems to be going around, and get my side of it, get his side of it, and we'll go from there. We've already had a few little scuffles about it, so going live should be interesting to say the least. A little volatile, maybe.
It's going to be great.
But that's going to be kind of the premise of our show. We're going to have more, current music as far as like, top 40 style. Anybody can write in, call in, text in, let us know what you want to talk about. If you have any questions, or just chime in on the subject. That's about it.
And it is pretty clear that this is your show, and I'm the jackass you took along for the ride.
Absolutely.
Okay.
But you're also the one that if you run it too much, you will get pounced on like a spider monkey. There will be maybe a fist to the forehead. I don't know. But like we said, that's authenticity. We're going live.
Hear those wet smacking sounds? She's beating the shit out of him. This is going to be fun. So
with all
that's
that,
the new show.
We will, like I said, we got to break down, make room for people coming in next. So we will see you next time right here on Geek Public Radio.
Good night.